Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. In this video I'm going to talk about the lost art of slow decorating, because in my opinion one of the key things that can get in the way of us decorating a home, designing or styling a home that really feels like home to us, is the pressure to get everything done as quickly as possible, and the pressure to get everything looking just so. Because at the end of the day, what makes your home feel right, feel good to you, is more than the aesthetics. It goes a bit deeper than that. So if your home feels off and you're not really sure why, then stay tuned. Hopefully this video will be of help. So let's start by talking about this very modern phenomenon of furnishing and decorating your home in a hurry, and the pressure whenever you move into a new home to get everything shipshape as quickly as possible. Because it wasn't always the way. When I was growing up, it's not how my parents decorated and furnished their homes. It's not how my friends' parents did it. People took their time, and circumstances really required that. People didn't have the disposable income to go out and buy things in a hurry. And it was the norm to take your time to do rooms up bit by bit, saving up to buy the anchor pieces like sofas, dining tables, all those big ticket items, and living with hand-me-downs in the interim. That was very normal and nobody looked down at that. Whereas nowadays there's a fast furniture approach, and it is easy to blame social media for that, because the endless scroll of perfect rooms is for sure fueling that frenzy. But the truth is that this fast furnishing approach has been around since before Instagram or Pinterest were a thing. It's been since the 90s, really. And interior shows like Change Me Rooms, I was a big fan. But those interior decorating shows, interior magazines, and the availability of mass-produced cheap furniture, all of these things fed into this approach, and social media really now has just compounded the effect. So we're now surrounded by pressure from every direction, and these speedy transformations that we see on our TV channels or on YouTube has kind of fed into the feeling that whenever we do move into a new home, we should get everything done as quickly as possible. And we're being conditioned to expect that of ourselves. And that's causing us to rush, to copy what we see, and to impulse buy. But then the downside of that is a lot of those rushed purchases end up being clutter, because we discover over time that actually we don't really love them. Or something else that can happen is, and for me is often much worse, is that we do create a space that looks great, that we actually like the look of, but we're not feeling fully at home in it, and we're not sure why. And I have made that mistake myself. Even knowing what I know, I have followed trends and regretted it. And the reason for that, and I would say probably the same for you, if your home looks good but it's still not feeling right and you're not sure why, the answer is that your space simply isn't a true reflection of you. We can go to a lot of lengths to infuse our homes with personality and character, following the inspiration that we've seen and actually like, but the finished result just doesn't work for us. While it looks great, it's just too vibrant for us, or it's not energizing us the way we need to, because even though it looks lovely and calming, for your particular nervous system, it might just be too bland. So if that is resonating with you in any way, what I would say to you is don't spend another penny trying to remedy the mistakes that you've made, and instead just slow down and give yourself time for your intuition and even for your home itself to show you what the right changes to make would be. By all means, continue to look for inspiration in the places that you enjoy. Just don't rush to copy what you like. Give yourself a little bit of space, be patient, and kind of tuck those ideas away in the back of your head and let them percolate. I'm a big fan of letting ideas percolate over time rather than acting on them too quickly. And I fully understand the impulse to act really quickly, because I do sometimes follow that. I'm more likely to regret the changes that I make in my home when I've rushed through the process than when I have just let myself sit with an idea for a while. Use that time to pay more attention to the different corners of your home. Pay attention where the light hits at different times of day, and get really clear on what it is that you need from your home that you aren't currently getting. And that is the essence of slow decorating as a mindful alternative to fast decoration or fast furnishing. For previous generations, it was a lack of accessibility. Today we have the accessibility, but we still have a choice to decorate in the way that our parents and grandparents did for our own benefit, for the sake of getting things right in the long run. Now, I've seen slow decorating referred to as a trend, but it really isn't that. As I've already mentioned, it used to be the normal way of doing things. It was only the wealthy elite who could afford the kind of one and done magical transformations that we see on our TV screen. It's really only since the 1990s that this faster approach has become such a normal way of doing things. But honestly, good design is never done in a hurry. All those designers whose work you admire, they've spent a lot of time doing the research, doing planning. There is so much work done behind the scenes before they go into their clients' homes and do these wonderful makeovers that we see carried out over a shorter time span. Because the unavoidable truth is, if you want to make fewer mistakes, and designers can't afford to make mistakes with their clients' homes or budgets, so if you want to follow a designer's approach, that's the real key. Taking your time means you will make fewer mistakes. As well as taking the pressure off, it also allows your space to evolve as your needs and lifestyle also evolve. So this newer mindful approach to slow decorating, that entails choosing with intention, being very deliberate about making choices that reflect your life, your values, your interests, your needs, and the normal everyday rhythm of how you go about your life. And crucially also, it gives you the freedom to choose to buy only what makes your heart sing. When you take your time and you save for the right pieces, you give yourself the freedom to choose what you love rather than something that will do for now. And that will make all the difference when it comes to creating a space that just feels really good to be in. And in the meantime, while you're going through this slow process, make the most of what you already have. Shop your home, maybe repurpose some items, and work some magic with paint. It's affordable, impactful, and you can change it without too much drama if you need to alter the vibe further down the line. So at its core, slow decoration is about replacing the need for instant perfection with a more thoughtful process, and then enjoying all the little tweaks that you make along the way. So to do this right, you need to live in your space for a while. So you move in somewhere new, just unpack, live with what you have, get to know the space, and observe your real habits, your everyday habits, and how you use the space, where you're finding problems, what functionality you need to improve. And when you're clear on that, then start planning around what it is that you need to bring into the space. And finally, choosing pieces that will last the test of time, meaning that they will both stand up to the everyday wear and tear of life, and that they will continue to hold a place of joy in your heart, that they're pieces that you can see yourself loving and living with for a long time to come. And I'm not talking about minimalism. Slow decorating can mean doing less, but not necessarily. And it's not about avoiding decisions. It's just about taking your time with them. So making better decisions. And then the reasons why this works so well. When you slow down the way you decorate, a few really valuable things start to happen, and they're all intertwined. So these aren't in any particular order of importance. They're all important benefits. The first is your wallet. Your wallet will thank you. You're going to be spending less and spending better, because this approach lets you space your purchases out, save for the pieces that matter, the long haul pieces. And because you're not rushing, you're less likely to fall into the trap of chasing trends, or impulse buying. You have the time and space to plan around your budget and to stretch it further. Next up is that you're going to make more sustainable choices. Fast furniture has a nasty habit of ending up in landfills, whereas slow decorating encourages buying secondhand, investing in well-made pieces, and valuing what lasts. Thirdly, you'll reduce clutter. Because you're choosing with more intention, you're less likely to fill space just for the sake of it. And instead, your home becomes more functional, more thoughtful, and then just by default, it's less crowded by unnecessary stuff that doesn't add to the quality of your life. So now we're moving into the more emotional benefits. The first one being that slow decorating really gives you the time and space to discover what you love and to curate your own personal signature style. Because when you live in the space and you don't rush to copy and paste what you're seeing elsewhere, you have time to figure out, well, what are the colors that soothe me and what are the colors that energize me? What kinds of patterns, what kinds of textures? You have time to figure out what soothes and regulates your nervous system. That's what you should really be aiming for, not an aesthetic, but a home that supports your well-being. So give yourself the time to figure out what aesthetics will do that, rather than say, I like that style, so I'm going to replicate that style, and possibly discover later that that style doesn't do it for you. So yeah, slow it down and you'll be able to curate the perfect style for you. You'll also build emotional connection to your home through the pieces that you bring into your home. Because when you take your time, when you save up to buy something that you love and need, or the pieces that you bring in are treasures that you found at a vintage store that you might never otherwise have been able to afford, or a piece of art maybe that you brought back from a holiday, and as well as loving it, it's also infused with great memories. These pieces you will have emotional connection to them, and that connection will kind of spread out to the energy of your space as a whole. And when you move to future homes, bringing those pieces with you, they'll help you to feel settled and at home more quickly in your new space. And lastly, it's just more peaceful. When you take the pressure off to get it all, it's a more enjoyable process and a more freeing process. Yeah, and I can't recommend it enough. And funny enough, I'm recording today's video in a friend's home. I'm here cat sitting for him, and actually a few months back when I was here cat sitting, I did a mini makeover of this space that I'm in. I'll link it here. But this is a perfect example of a slow decorating approach. There's nothing perfect about his home, but the vibe is so good. Whenever I come here, I feel at home. It's not my space, but when I walk in, I feel at home. It's about the energy. And you're not forcing anything, and you're taking your time, the energy will be much better. So it's not like you need to get to the finish line in order to create the right energy. If you're working towards the finish line with a slow decorating mentality and without pressure to get everything right quickly, the energy will be supportive. It will help you to make the right choices towards the end result. Now, having said all of that, of course, it is going to be easier for some people than others to follow this kind of approach. For example, if you are a spring personality type, slowing down can almost feel unnatural. You're wired for movement and momentum, and you actually have a true need to change things up regularly. And so slow decorating might feel like it would clash with all of that. And I can relate. I have a lot of spring in my personality type. I'm autumn spring, and I do like to change things up every few months. But slow decorating doesn't have to impinge on that need. It's not about suppressing your creativity. It's just about giving yourself space and time to get it right. And I satisfy the need to make changes by switching out the layout or moving furniture or decor pieces from one room to another. It's very manageable, even if you have the urge to change things a lot. You can still follow a slower decoration approach. And if you're curious about the seasonal personality types, I dive deeper into that in a separate video. And I also have a free quiz. I link both of them in the description box below. So if you are ready to start embracing the slow decoration approach, the first thing to do is just to start noticing how you actually live in your space and notice what works well and what doesn't. Notice what lights you up and what's maybe just a bit blah. But most importantly, give yourself permission to wait. And if you are craving a change, try moving something instead of buying something. Essentially, whether it's big or small, let every change you do make be rooted in something more thoughtful, something that matters to you, rather than being triggered by something that's trending, because that's where the real magic is. And the thing is, our homes are never, ever completely done. So when you think about it from that perspective, what's the rush? There really isn't any rush. And if you'd like to see some slow decoration in progress in real life, I recommend Shauna Rochelle and Noah Daniels' channels. Shauna is an Australian artist who is very slowly decorating her home, her rental home. And Noah is, I think he's American. He's an interior designer, but he's living in Copenhagen in Denmark, and he's decorating his apartment, and he has a playlist that takes you through that. But he has other videos. It's a really good interior design channel. So I would recommend both those. I will link them in the description box below. And if this video made you think differently about how you might approach decorating, let me know in the comments what landed with you, what you might do differently the next time you're planning an update to your home. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear. And if you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, tap the bell, do all of the things that helps the channel. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.